Rolling.
Tampa Tom Terrific is heading home for the Super Bowl, but he's going to have to leave his guns at home. The NFL said that he can't fucking use the cannons during the game.
That was the one, T. Tampa Bay, baby. City by the Bay.
I think it is absolute bullshit that they're not allowed to use the cannons to celebrate during the game.
There's a lot of healthcare workers who have PTSD that'll be in attendance, so it's probably for the best.
If you're going to build a fucking pirate ship in the goddamn stadium, then you better be using it every time that something's going on there. Like, I don't give a shit if it's a Bon Jovi concert. I want fucking cannons.
It always amazes me how the Super Bowl always manages to create a fuss.
Well, it is one of the biggest events of the year, and that's what we're going to be covering in this week's episode. All things Super Bowl, including the gambling, the advertisements, the teams, the legacy of my man Tom Brady. As always, you may interact with us at CTS Terry on Twitter or by searching for the Catch the Sky podcast on Facebook. Saif, you ready?
I am a degenerate gambler. I've been waiting for this moment my entire year.
My entire year. I love that.
And my first bet that I'm going on is I believe I have 3-1 odds that Tampa will be wearing the orange throwback jerseys this Super Bowl. If this hits, I am going to retire. I'll be investing in Dogecoin.
For them not wearing those uniforms all season, I don't even know when the fucking last time they wore those uniforms. Those odds seem 3-1. I feel like it should be more than that.
It's about the same odds as whether the national anthem will be over under 1 minute and 31 seconds.
There are so many things that you can gamble on. I wonder if you can gamble on Andy Reid's face mask.
The tuna?
Yeah.
I bet you're sick of tuna. He looks like a welder in his face shield.
Well, I was thinking of the banana hammock.
For those who don't know what a banana hammock is, explain.
It's just basically a male G-string. It's just like a little pocket for your dick. Just something to cover it up. It's like the equivalent of a fig leaf.
Speaking of bananas, I have one in my pocket. No, I was going to a Super Bowl party this weekend, and I was going to make banana smoothies, declaring that Monday morning you were not going to be missing any potassium in your diet because that's how good these smoothies would be, and you would just suck them down. Unfortunately, my Super Bowl party canceled on account of COVID.
Well, welcome to the fucking pandemic. You can always just grab a pizza from La Piazza al Forno, located in lovely downtown Glendale, Arizona. I got that pandemic. Icicle.
David Simon.
Icicle.
I wonder who you're rooting for. So as I understand, the Chiefs barber has COVID and may have given it to some of the players. And actually a number of Chiefs players are in
There are a couple that are in quarantine, but they caught him quick enough that it was only 2 of them, I believe. And as long as they test negative every day leading up to the Super Bowl, they can play.
Well, they're athletes, so they get to jump to the front of the line and get vaccines.
And haircuts.
Yes.
So who do you have?
I think the smart money for me in my head tells me that Kansas City's the better team. But I left my heart in Tampa Bay, so I want to root for Tampa. I think here's why, T. The former coach of Arizona Cardinals was Bruce Arians, and Bruce Arians had Todd Bowles, he had Byron Leftwich, and all of those are now part of his staff in Tampa Bay. And actually, Bruce has been really good about promoting diversity. He has 2 women on his staff. And
I wish I had 2 women on my staff.
Touche, pussycat. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. But no, I'm a fan of Bruce Arians. We loved Bruce in Arizona. Arizona is Bruce Arians country. The state of Arizona is rooting for Tampa Bay. A lot of people hate Brady. We're still going to root for him.
How can you hate him at this point? You just have to sit back and watch the glory. He's in his 10th fucking Super Bowl. 10th.
10.
And if I recall correctly, Eli Manning has not inked a contract with the Kansas City Chiefs this week. So who the fuck in their right mind thinks that Kansas City's going to win? Did Eli come out of retirement? Did I miss something?
William Hill thinks 3.5, but it's like 52%.
Well, you can tell Bill Hill he can suck my dick.
Speaking of Dick's going to come join us next week.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We're going to have a special Valentine's Day edition of the Love Files. And as Saif mentioned, we will be having a woman on this week, so we'll ask her who should pay on the first date. And I'm sure she has some thoughts on what you're about to tell us about domestic violence.
So let me just be clear. Per Snopes, the idea that domestic violence being at its highest during Super Bowl weekend is in fact false. But it should not be a time for you to just dismiss domestic violence and the fact that when people do consume large amounts of alcohol, these things have a tendency to occur more frequently. So I think that's why Budweiser pulled their ads from the Super Bowl this year.
I don't think that is the reason that they're giving, but if you want to roll with it, sure. If that's the fake news you want to pitch this week, then you fucking go for it.
You've seen the stuff people believe?
I believe they pulled their advertising as well as Coke and Pepsi because they want to focus their efforts on the coronavirus. They don't want to be blasted for extravagant spending during the Super Bowl when there's a fucking pandemic going on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Even though corporations are making massive amounts of money right now. Like there's some people getting seriously rich, including the rich. The rich are actually getting...
Well, this only saves them money, right? They don't have to go out and spend millions on advertisement. It's virtue signaling, Saif. But they also save $1 too.
And this is the part where people always say, advertising doesn't work on me. And if it doesn't work, then why do people spend millions and millions on it to try to influence you? Advertising works, people. Get over it. You're a product. You are the product.
You're a product.
But whenever I think the Buccaneers coaching staff to me. I got to get back to this Buccaneers coaching staff thing.
Go for
I
it.
really am impressed. Tony Dungy should have won a Super Bowl ring as a Buccaneers coach. And when he did win one in Indianapolis, he actually gave a Super Bowl ring to Edgerrin James, even though Edgerrin had left the season before to Arizona. And he told Edgerrin, he's like, hey, you were part of this team. You helped us win the Super Bowl, even though you didn't win the Super Bowl. And he almost helped Arizona win a Super Bowl too. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that coaching staff. I love the diversity. I don't know why we're still, because even at this point, like, black coaches are still not getting hired, and I don't know what that is. And you tell me, T, like, what is it about hiring a black guy to run your football team? Or should it be okay to be like, you know what, white guys are perfectly capable and the best people to move a group of young men, primarily black men, forward to greatness?
No, absolutely not. And we need more coaches like Bruce Arians who give people of color and women opportunities on the national scale to showcase their abilities. They have so much influence in American culture that it would be setting the proper example that we're looking for in our leaders, pop culture leaders, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing that athletes are definitely taking more of a stand in the NBA, and I think that's only going to continue. We saw Kaepernick take a knee and he lost his job, but eventually you saw that the NFL admitted that they got that wrong.
They came out and admitted it. Yeah. And I was watching the Kansas City Buffalo game this week, and the back of the helmet for some of the Kansas City players said George Floyd. And I was struck by that because the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs, Lamar Hunt, was adamantly against anybody taking a knee. If anybody did that, they would be kicked out from the Kansas City family. And that was just a few seasons ago. And now his players are wearing George Floyd on their helmet.
Yeah.
So it just shows you how far we've come.
Quite a quick turnaround.
And I don't, that's symbolic. I don't know if that actually means anything, right? But it's there.
It's a constant reminder.
And that's for people who supposedly didn't stop watching the NFL. Like, a lot of people said, oh, I'm going to stop watching the NFL now. These guys aren't standing for the national anthem. Fuck you. Go climb a tree. Why is the national anthem even a part of sporting events? It has no business.
We can get into the whole historical background of all that bullshit. Basically, they wanted to build up patriotism after World War I, and that was it. And then it fucking stuck, and people liked it. So it's forced patriotism, more or less.
That's what it is. Paid patriotism is what it is.
You're paying to be forced to be a patriot. Because if you pay to attend one of these events and you don't stand up, then fuck you, right?
And that's where we're at. And I'm proud of everything that Bruce Arians has done. And I am in my heart rooting for Tampa Bay. And he has, not only his staff is diverse, but he has a geriatric and a quarterback at Tom Brady. He's promoting that. Whereas on the other side of the ball, you just have this machine that is Kansas City. And this Patrick Mahomes kid could rival Brady playoff win-wise, Super Bowl win-wise, if he can get number 2. And that's why the favorite is the Chiefs. They're favored by 3.
I've told you what to do in these situations. And anybody listening to this can go ahead and fucking take it to the bank. It's Tom fucking Brady in the Super Bowl. And unless the other quarterback is Eli Manning, he is going to fucking win.
I read on Twitter that Brady always brings it up when he's around Eli, that it really bothers him, especially 07. Especially 07.
It bothers Tom.
Oh, bothers Tom big time. That I wish they would have been the perfect team. I really wish that would have happened. I'm over the 73 Dolphins. I'm done with that.
So earlier I said that I wanted to see Tom just keep rolling, but seeing Eli step in and interrupt his run of greatness and go undefeated against him in the Super Bowl was pretty fucking sweet. Eli needs to be in the Hall of Fame just for that, right? I mean, he did win 2 fucking Super Bowls against the best dynasty that maybe any sport has ever seen, but at least the NFL.
The New York Football Giants.
I love Eli Manning.
You're not as funny as your brother, but you try. And true story, T.
Cooper Manning's hilarious.
True story, T. I was doing promotions in 07 when that Super Bowl, because that Super Bowl was in Arizona. And I was part of this company where we hooked up with Oreo, and Oreo was doing the double stuff promotion. And what we were offering was an opportunity to win and compete in a lick race of an Oreo cookie against the Manning brothers, Peyton and Eli. And they offered a trip to Louisiana, where the Manning family lives, and you could be part of any of their news publicity that they had there. So we were giving out these little tickets and trying to encourage people to eat Oreos. I was dressed like an Oreo cookie in 2007. If you saw an Oreo cookie in the state of Arizona, that was me inside that costume. And a Giants fan assaulted me.
What'd you do?
The Giants fan asked me if I thought the Giants would win. I'm not allowed to talk. I'm a fucking cookie. The guy's like, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? New Yorker, New York accent. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? And do you think it's New York? And I shook. No. Because I believe. I thought, here, I followed your advice even before I met you. Tom Brady, and I got punched by a fucking New York Giants fan.
Just envisioning the cookie with the arms swinging. No, like no. And they're just getting kicked over.
I was assaulted. I may have been fondled. I don't know.
Jesus
it was all
Christ. He said, double stuff this.
Here's the fun part. Is that we could not give away these tickets, like these raffle tickets that we were, and all of them were all losers, like every single one. We ended up, each employee ended up taking, or everybody who was on that promo that week took home a box each. I pulled literally thousands of these things, all losers. And then we found a winner. I shit you not. But because I was involved, I could not win and claim the prize. I had to give it to a friend, and my friend got to take all the accolades for that and got that free trip to New Orleans and met the Manning family and everything.
Well, did they bring you something back from it?
No, but
well, what
honestly,
the
fuck? It wasn't. That's not why you give, right?
I understand, but when somebody hands you a free trip to fucking New Orleans to hang out with the Manning brothers, the least you do is bring them back an autographed football. I mean, fucking.
I don't even
common courtesy.
I don't even know if they kept any of that stuff, honestly, because it wasn't their thing. But yeah.
Jesus, I'm disappointed in whoever that was.
Yeah, we won't divulge that information.
No, that's quite all right. Just know that Sweet Tea is just I'm disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
So I've taken your advice and I've bet Tampa Bay. But I will note that my fantasy team, you pushed me to start Tampa Bay against Pittsburgh a couple years back, and I lost terribly. in your league specifically, and that's why I'm done with fantasy sports and I'm sticking strictly to gambling. And you know what, T? I'm with you. I'm betting Tampa Bay. I'm going all in.
There's no reason not to. They're playing at home. This is the first time we've had a Super Bowl where one of the teams is hosting.
Mm.
And it's Tom Brady. Forget about it, bro. Mahomes is going to have plenty of time to shine. Tom ain't done.
Mahomes is also missing his tackles. Eric Fisher, notably. And if that Todd Bowles defense can get there, oh boy. But Mahomes is a freak. Like, he can throw sidearm. You know, he's got guys on him, and he's probably going to be, because he looks like he's limping. He's got that turf toe. So they're probably just going to inject something in him, and he's just going to.
It's going to be running all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
So what about the over-under? What are we looking at there?
57.5. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I'm never good at the over-under, but
30-24, one of those deals. 30-27.
If I were to bet on this one, I'd probably take the under with that number.
And with these defenses. But a lot of offensive firepower out there.
If Mahomes starts slinging it, then Tom's going to have no choice but to go GOAT mode and keep up.
He's really got an assorted cast of characters behind him. I don't know how Mike Evans is holding up, but God, that receiving core. And it's like Scotty Miller of all those people is like the speedster. It's the guy you've never even heard of. Between Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, fucking Scotty Miller. Gotta love it.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's like a fantasy roster.
It really is.
Fuck fantasy. I got fucking boned again this year. I don't even know if I'll do my league next year. We'll see.
So the location for this Super Bowl, you mentioned it's the home stadium, Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay. And I've shared a story previously on the Catch the Sky podcast about my sports tourism, where I went out there and ventured out there, had a really long day, and could not perform with a lovely young lady at the end of all of that. And so that is twice that Tampa has crushed my dreams. The first time was when the Cardinals went there into the Super Bowl to play the Steelers in 2008, and we lost there in that stadium. So that stadium is that's twice that place has screwed me, and I hope it's not a third time, because I have some serious money now riding on Tampa Bay.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's a nice preview for our Love Files episode next week. And we're going to be bringing Dick on for that episode. So we're going to be getting the woman's perspective, and I think we can finally settle the debate on who pays on the first date. So I'll be looking forward to that very much. And I think Tampa Bay is going to pull through for you this time.
Pull through like Malcolm Glazer did when he bought the team in 1995, threatened to move the team unless a new stadium was built at the expense of the taxpayers. And so as a result, local sales taxes in Hillsborough County were raised so they could build the stadium that will hold the Super Bowl. I love corporations when they extort Joe Q taxpayer.
Isn't it the best?
It really is.
Go America.
People deserve it. They do it.
As we mentioned last week on our free speech episode, we hope that these same corporations will be the one to lead us into the promised land.
Yep.
Fucking A.
As long as that promised land's profitable, we're in.
Right.
But it's the end of the NFL season, a truly odd one. I don't know what's going to happen. I know they're going to allow like 7,500 healthcare workers who are vaccinated into the stadium. And I think it's like 22,000 total.
They should put everybody in a hamster ball. You just get your own free hamster ball. You just get to roll around wherever the fuck you want. It'd be awesome.
We've talked. I was actually a fan because I don't like being next to a lot of people anyway and dealing with traffic and lines in the bathroom, and it's just disgusting as it is. I was kind of like the idea of a spaced out, like everybody gets their own pod or my own hamster ball. Yeah, I'm in. I like that.
I love the hamster ball idea.
I'd be willing to pay a little bit more for kind of an exclusive, more intimate experience. Because at the end of the day, the NFL, like watching it live is awful. It's so much better at home. But if I am going to go shell out some bucks, I want it to be a unique experience, not crammed in there next to 60,000 assholes.
I'm just thinking about the whole hamster ball experience as a whole. Like, how would you go to the bathroom? And basically, the way I envision it is there would just be a hole in the ground, and you would just roll your ball like over the hole and line up like the entrance hole to your ball with the hole in the ground and just go that way. Or maybe some sort of toilet would rise up through the hole and then you could sit on it while inside your ball. And then it goes back into the floor and gets sanitized.
This is just as good as Trash Rocket.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm willing to take this idea to the next level. Trademark.
Dibs.
Hamster ball.
Dibs, don't you?
Toilet idea. I'm not a savage.
That's right.
So it sounds like we're both in on Tampa Tom. Terrific.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I thought we were going to have opposing views this episode, but it seems like the numbers never lie and have finally won you over.
That, and I am personally invested in Tom Brady. So, do I fear Kansas City? Absolutely. They are wicked.
Yeah.
Tyreek, the freak, the cheetah, right? Kev is Kelsey.
Nobody gives a fuck that he broke his kid's arm.
Yeah. I actually brought that conversation up in Kansas City when the Cardinals were playing a couple years back and listened to a very meaningful conversation play out amongst people dressed in camouflage and hunting gear, because that's what they wear in Kansas City, on top of their Chiefs gear.
And
I was actually very impressed. I was impressed. Whether the circumstances surrounding what Tyreek Hill did, and then if he was correct and if he should be allowed to play. And the general view was that what he did was wrong. So even though they were fans of the athlete, they were not fans of his off-the-field actions. But these were when he was in college. And so they kind of said, you know what, he was a young man in college. He's playing for us now. Hopefully he can learn and grow. And then I think as a culture, do we forgive someone? Can we forgive someone who's committed such an atrocity? And it's kind of ironic as we just recently celebrated the passing of Kobe Bryant's, the 1-year anniversary. And those who know me personally know that I am not a Kobe Bryant fan, but I can respect him as an athlete. But as an individual and as a Phoenix sports fan, I don't like Lakers. And LeBron James, when he was a Cavalier, loved him. And he's an LA Laker, fuck him. Fuck them all. As soon as you don that jersey, it's over. Steve Nash is the one exception. And that's only because I feel like Robert Sarver, being the horrible general manager that he is, forced Steve Nash to actually go to the dark side. Outside of that, we're all about forgiveness on the Catch the Sky podcast. So I will forgive Tom Brady if they lose, but I hope they don't.
Yeah, I hope you can forgive me too. Antonio Brown's playing in the fucking Super Bowl. Speaking of forgiveness.
Killer bees.
Jesus. I hope everybody has a safe and enjoyable weekend. If you're going over to a friend's house, be sure to use the sanitizer. Be respectful to everybody. Wear your face mask if you're going to be on top of each other. And do not drive drunk. There's Ubers and Lyfts for a reason. If you want to interact with us more, you may do so online at CTS Terry on Twitter or by searching for the Catch the Sky podcast on Instagram, Facebook, or wherever podcasts are downloaded. Be sure to give us a like, a subscribe, and share the shit out of this thing. We're trying to get the word out there. Hopefully sometime this year we'll be able to debut our Trash Rocket shirt idea, and maybe we'll have to follow it up with the hamster ball toilet. I don't know what we would call this thing. We need a catchier name. We need something similar to Trash Rocket. Because Trash Rocket just rolls right
Hamster
off
ball.
the tongue. So nice. So smooth.
I'm a hamster ball fan.
Until next week, everybody, keep trying to catch the sky.